All right, so we continue chatting cricket. It's time now to catch up on the CG United West Indies Regional Super 50 Cup. Let's start over at the Sir Frank Worrell Memorial Cricket Ground in St Augustine, where the home team, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, took on the West Indies Academy. Well, Yannic Cariah starred with the ball for the Red Force team, who sent the Academy men into batting first. Cariah picked up 4 for 37 in 8.2 overs as the Academy collapsed to 135 in 34.2 overs. Well, Cariah, he supported well with figures of 3 for 14, chasing a modest target of 136 for victory. Amir Jangoo scored 17 not out and shared in an unbroken 130-run partnership with Kjorn Otley as the Red Force eased to a 9-wicket win. Well, scores in the match: Windies Academy 135 all out. Joshua Bishop, he top scored with 31, and Red Force 136 for 1. All right, so we're moving on now, and rain had the final say over at the Queen's Park Oval, where the encounter between Jamaica Scorpions and Guyana Harpy Eagles was abandoned as a no result. Well, Jamaica was sent in to bat the Scorpions. They lost wickets at regular intervals before getting to 162 for 6 in the 42nd over when rain decided to stop play. Well, Jermaine Blackwood top scored with an unbeaten 63, and John Campbell also stroked a half-century, getting to 53. Ashmead Ned was the pick of the bowlers with 2 for 23. Well, Nikhil, he didn't leave us. He's still with us, and he's ready to talk some Super 50 cricket. Well, Nikhil, let's start with my team, the TNT Red Force, getting the job done today. Happy to see Amir Jangoo among the runs. Happy to see Yannic Cariah picking up those wickets. What did you make of today's result?
Yeah, obviously it's a young West Indies Academy team, Mariah, who we've seen play some good cricket at times in the tournament, but the inexperience showed today. They've lost a lot of early wickets in the tournament and haven't always been able to restructure or resurrect their batting performance with their middle to low order. Something that, they had a real luxury with Akeem Ogis batting at 6. They had Joshua James at times batting at 7. He got a 50 in last year's competition, has now moved on to the Red Force. So they definitely have to rebuild. Look, there are a lot of 17 and 18-year-olds in that squad who will learn a lot from this experience, and I'm sure in 1 or 2 years will be different players, probably more mature and better off after these experiences. But the Red Force showed their class. I think clinical have to sort of play what's in front of you. And look, Yannic Cariah making things very interesting. 10 wickets now in the tournament. And, I mean, he did very well last year with both bat and ball, and he's knocking on the door yet again.
Yeah, also among the wickets, Cariah, we know what a class Cariah is. He has been very, very consistent. So also, Nikhil, good to see him among the wicket takers.
Definitely, Mariah. I think his economy has been 3 runs and over in the tournament, and that's before today, so it'll be even better now. Again, just discipline, very controlled, not the biggest spinner of the ball, but understanding his abilities, and he's been just hard to hit. And this was a role he played extremely well for the champion St. Lucia Kings side, who obviously won the CPL. So great to see that he's continuing to progress. Obviously, it's a little more difficult when you think about left-arm spinners around the region. Hossein, Moti, the two that probably in the white ball squads, Warwican and obviously Moti again in the red ball. There's so many left-arm spinners. Joshua Bishop is having a good Super 50 as well. But yeah, good to see that Cariah, in the field making an impact. But with the ball, has been really impressed with his economy.
Yeah, let's talk about the partnership between Jangoo and Otley and Amir Jangoo. Amir has been due for runs, I would say, due for a century. Jangoo and Otley as well, good to see him among the runs.
Yeah, Jangoo had a really good first-class season, red ball that is, earlier this year. So I think he's found something in his game now where he's getting a lot more consistency. Obviously not having the gloves because Joshua Da Silva's in the squad. Maybe that's helping his batting a bit as well. But second 50 in the tournament, and yeah, he'd be looking for a big Super 50. I think he would already have raised some eyebrows after the red ball performance where he got, I think it was a double 100 actually, playing for Trinidad. Now he's showing that, he can have another gear into his game in the white ball format. And he's opened in the past, now batting in a different position. But the good thing for Trinidad is that they've had one of their top 3 getting quite deep into the innings. Webster's been good today, Ottley, and obviously Jangoo has been consistent.
Yeah, and rain affecting things today with the Scorpions Guyana Harpy Eagles game. Neither team in the top half of the table at the moment, I think. Well, Guyana Harpy Eagles just about mid-table at the moment. So disappointing today that they didn't get a full game for that Scorpions match.
Yeah, it was disappointing for both teams, Lance, especially Guyana, who, well, both teams really need to win. But the bonus points has helped Guyana sort of stay mid-table. I was happy that Isaiah Kjorn got an opportunity. I watched a bit of him bowl this morning, and, you know, he's a young player who, remember, was in the West Indies squad that was in England. He was with the team training. He's someone that they've almost earmarked as one for the future and gets, you know, the ball to swing in, has a unique angle about him, and there's definitely some potential there. He was with the Royals at the CPL. And look, good to see John Campbell back and in the runs. He's looked quite positive. And then his partner, Blackwood, who also got 63. I think what you want is your international players when they come into these tournaments. Shea Hope said it last night, actually. When guys go back into the Super 50, like we expect Casey Carty to do, for example, or Joel Andrew, you want your internationals to stand out. You want to show why you're an international player. And Blackwood has made it quite clear. He's looking to get back into the West Indies team, regardless of the format. And, I mean, he's had a good start to the tournament. But, again, same thing with Imlak, who's had, I think, 350s in 4 innings. You want guys converting and getting the big hundreds, like Justin Graves has done, and it's been an example. So, yeah, hopefully in the second half of the tournament, we can see bigger hundreds and guys going on to win games. Yeah, and the fact is that when you look at what the Barbados Pride have done so far in the tournament to be top of the table, TNT with a result here, moving up to challenge them when the next point standings are fully tallied. But at the top of the table, pretty close going. Your thoughts overall on the Barbados Pride performance so far? They've been pretty solid. And maybe a quick comment on Lenico Boucher, who started the tournament well but has fallen off. Yeah, I think, first of all, Barbados and Trinidad, what they both had is pretty much one spinner who's been lethal. Both Warwican and Cariah now have 10 wickets. Warwican has 10 in 3 games. So he's been very impressive with a couple of 4-wicket hauls. That has helped them build pressure, put pressure onto batting lineups. And then obviously they've got, with Trinidad's case, they've got consistent guys chipping in. Jason Mohammed in the last game. Today, Jangoo and Otley. Tion Webster with that 95 not out. So that's good that they've got guys getting big runs and taking the game as deep as possible. But also, you know, playing some gutsy innings. Think about Wickham. That 100 to win the game against the Leewards was, you know, extremely good. But they, as you said, they have to battle with some consistency issues. They have dropped Kadeem Aline, who started the tournament. Lenico Boucher now has had his struggles. But look, knowing Lenico Boucher and what he's gone through domestically to get back into the Barbados team after playing List A cricket in 2019, I think he will, you know, really be determined, like the determination we saw in Justin Graves, to get back out there. I think a big score won't be far away, the way he started the tournament, and he's looked really good. So, look, they'll rely on him. I like that Kyle Mears is batting in the middle because he's had his struggles against spin, so maybe this could be Kyle Mears 2.0. And then they've obviously got their all-rounders firing in Naeem Young, picking up a couple of wickets, and Dominic Drakes bowling the new ball well. Yeah, and just a couple of weeks ago, we had a discussion about the Yannic Cariah as well, Nikhil, and the fact that maybe he would be pressing as the leg spinner in the West Indies setup, pressing for Hayden Walsh's place. But he was good today, 4 for 37 off 8.2 overs. And here's what he said post-game.
We could, help our spinners. Thought, we could have get them for a little bit, less total, but with our fielding department, I think that one area we need to back up, to come playing against Guyana in the next game. I know we got 3 really tough games coming up, and then come down to the semi-final and stuff like that. But we need to back up in our field department. But I thought our bowlers, with our wicket assistance, I thought our length was really good. But all in all, our fielding need to be much better. Yeah, so Nikhil Cariah there definitely setting a path for TNT Red Force to be champions, and it appears as if that's where his head is at. I'm curious to see, Lance, how Darren Sammy interprets a performance like this. He said that the Super 50 will be taken seriously for selection for that Bangladesh series. Look, I know that, Cariah has had his time in international cricket. 13 matches, 12 wickets at 47, which is not great. However,
we have to realize that if the Super 50 is going to be our criteria, then there must be some reward for doing well domestically. And Sammy and Shea Hope have been both very vocal about wanting a wrist spinner in their squad in both white ball teams. So is this a rebirth, sort of a second coming for Cariah? Given how well he's done across 2 seasons, I think his control has been, very good, and probably an area where he has more of something than Hayden Walsh, where Walsh may spin the ball a bit more, but Cariah has a lot of control. And, I mean, you reflect on his international career, a couple games in South Africa, did well in the UAE, but then struggled in the Caribbean. Maybe he wasn't given enough of a run, or maybe he wasn't back consistently. So I'm curious to see if they do bring him back into the setup at age 32, or do they think it's time to move on and maybe look to younger leg spinners around the region? There's Mansingh, there's Zishan Motara, who's 17 years old, who we've spoken about. There are a few other options who are, up and around in the Caribbean. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens.
What's for sure is, Nikhil, you did come on this show and you said you wanted to see consistent performances, be it with the bat and with the ball. And I think we've seen a couple of them. Not the amount that we would like to see, but I feel like we've seen some promising performances.
Yeah, definitely, Mariah. I think, look, this is such an important tournament, and a tournament I really love because it really gives you an eye on who's next and the next time that we can look forward to seeing. But I really hope that the guys who go back into the Super 50 after a promising 50-over series win for the West Indies, the Cartys, the Joel Andrews, maybe a Matthew Ford, I really hope they can stamp their authority and show why they're in the West Indies side. But it's a very important tournament, and I think a big opportunity for guys to maybe knock on the door. They have to be thinking about a 2027 World Cup and thinking that there's time. Even if it's not this Super 50, you show some promise like Justin Graves did last year. You follow it up next year or maybe in the red ball season with more performances, and instantly people are talking about you. So there's a lot of opportunities in West Indies cricket now within the next 12 to 24 months.
Yeah, well, Nikhil, we want to thank you so much for stopping by on the SportsMax Zone. As always, we always enjoy your input, and we'll talk again really soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
Not a problem. All right, viewers, so we're going to wrap up the cricket discussions. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take in some After Track with Lance Whitaker.